They say every block holds a story, but what if the story begins beneath your feet? I always thought my house was just an ordinary little cottage, nestled at the edge of a peaceful village, kissed by soft winds and golden sunsets. The kind of place where nothing ever really happens, until the day everything changed. Whispers in the floorboards. It started with the smallest things, missing items, tools I knew I had just crafted, whispers, faint and fleeting, curling up from the floorboards when the wind stood still, a lantern that would sway when there wasn't a breeze. Then the ground itself began to tremble, softly like a heartbeat deep in the earth. I tried to ignore it, told myself it was just the house settling, but something inside me, something ancient maybe, knew better. One afternoon, while tidying the bookshelf in the corner, a dusty tome fell open at my feet. Behind it, wedged between the wood and the wall, I found something strange. A key, small, silver, humming with faint energy, and carved into the metal, a symbol I'd never seen before, yet felt oddly familiar. The trapdoor. Later that night, I followed the strange symbol through the house. It was etched faintly into the wood in places I'd never noticed, beneath a window, behind a cupboard, even on the underside of my bed frame, like breadcrumbs leading me somewhere, and that's when I found it. Beneath a rug that had always been there, a hidden trapdoor. I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to shut it, to pretend I'd never seen it. But I couldn't. My fingers moved on their own. The key fit the lock like it had been waiting years, generations, for this moment. I opened it. What I saw was darkness, and a ladder that disappeared into the unknown. Below the surface, torch in hand, I climbed down. The air was thick with magic. You could feel it like static before a thunderstorm. The stone walls were lined with glowing mushrooms, vines that pulsed faintly, and broken crates long forgotten. And then, movement. A shadow flickered at the edge of my torchlight. I turned slowly. There, peeking out from behind a pillar, was something I never thought I'd see. A baby Enderman. Its violet eyes shimmered with fear, but also curiosity. It held a glowing crystal in its tiny hands. And for some reason, it didn't teleport away. It just stood there, watching me. That's when the light changed. A warm, radiant glow spilled into the room, and a figure appeared, floating just above the ground, cloaked in stardust and wisdom. The mentor. They didn't speak right away. They didn't need to. Their presence filled the space like music, calm, eternal. When they finally spoke, their voice echoed like wind through ancient trees. You have awakened what was once forgotten. The bond is formed, and the story begins again. I asked who they were. They smiled. I am a guide, a guardian, a whisper in the dark when all lights go out. But you are the last light-bearer. Before I could ask what that meant, the baby Enderman placed the glowing crystal on a stone pedestal in the center of the room. There was a flash, and then the scroll appeared, the prophecy. It floated in the air, encased in crystal. The mentor explained, "Long ago, your ancestors sealed a rift between this world and a realm of shadows. But time is a tide, and even the strongest seals wear thin. The rift stirs once more. They spoke of ancient heroes, of forgotten wars beneath the overworld, of creatures that hungered for light, and of a prophecy, one that spoke of a child born under the twin moons who would find the forgotten path. The scroll, they said, was the first step, a map to the portal of origins. The place where the rift first opened, and where it could open again. The Enderman child is more than he seems," the mentor added. "He carries memory in his blood, and his destiny is bound to yours." The portal opens. Before I could speak, the crystal shattered. The scroll unfurled, revealing symbols that burned with golden fire. The pedestal began to rumble. The walls trembled. And then it happened. A swirling portal erupted from the far wall, its colors impossibly deep, purple, gold, star silver. It pulsed with energy, and the room filled with wind, though there was no sky. The baby Enderman took a step forward. So did I, and the mentor's voice echoed one last time. Step through, and there is no turning back. But beyond it lies your truth, your power, and the fate of every realm. The choice. I looked at the Enderman, eyes wide and trusting. I looked at the portal, pulsing like a heartbeat. And in that moment I wasn't scared. I was ready. Let's go, I whispered. Together. To be continued. And that's where our tale pauses. For now. What lies beyond the portal? Who built the rift and why? And what secret connects our hero to the baby Enderman? And the forgotten war that time itself tried to erase. One thing is certain, the story has only just begun. Don't miss episode 2 of MysticBlock Tales, Through the Portal, coming soon. Subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you're ready to uncover the ancient magic waiting in the blocks beneath your feet.